Secrets hidden in plain sight. Powers that move the world in the shadows. Questions no one dares to answer. Step beyond the Matrix. Subscribe.
Okay, so mark your calendars because next year, 2027, will be the longest solar eclipse of the entire century. What's crazy about this is they know exactly for how long it'll be and the exact date. Right now, they have confirmed that the longest solar eclipse of the entire century will be August 2nd, 2027 for exactly 6 minutes and 23 seconds. Now, initially when they reported on this last year, they said that this would darken the entire world. Now they're saying it's going to affect parts of Europe, North Africa, as well as the Middle East. What's really crazy to me is the fact that they can get it down to the exact second. And the reason as to why it's the longest is because most solar eclipses are just about 2 to 3 minutes. This is going to be more than double that, which seems like infinity in an eclipse time frame. Nevertheless, go ahead and mark your calendars. A lot of people say that when they witness an eclipse, it completely changes them, that they just never see the world the same. So if this is something that intrigues you, I would definitely recommend that you go ahead and book that flight in advance to somewhere in Europe or North Africa or the Middle East. They say that the pyramids will absolutely go dark, but on August 2nd, 2027, there will be a major solar eclipse that will darken a good majority of the world. Let me know what y'all think about that. Is it not just a bit eerie that they know exactly for how long it'll be? Because with all of the conversations regarding HAARP, regarding CERN, regarding the fact that so many things can be manipulated, it just feels a bit like, wow, we're having these eclipses a lot more than usual. Because I remember growing up, I thought that they would happen like once every 10, 20, 30 years. We've had quite a few in the last couple of years, and now they're saying that it's more than doubling in time. So what do y'all think about this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you don't know what I'm talking about, save this video, go look into it, come back, let me know what you think. Per usual, this is all alleged, can't confirm or deny any information, but if you're interested in more topics like this, grab your copy of 50 Forbidden Mysteries, link is in the bio, and join the private group chat. Whatever else I find out, I'll be back. Like, follow, stay with some more.
Instagram must not like us because Instagram is about to get everybody with a group chat now. They're saying that Instagram is about to start showing what videos we sent to the group chat. And you saying, what do I mean? This is what I mean. Right now, you can already go to a friends section and see what your friends like. Now, Instagram is going to be showing people the shit that we share. You know, the shit that we don't like on purpose? Stuff that we just sent to the group chat. And don't act like it's just me. Everybody do it. And you know, most of the group chats we in is ungodly. You got different group chats for different shit. You already got relationships being ruined over a like. Why did you like her picture? Or I can't believe you like that nigga picture. Just imagine when they start showing the shit that you be sharing. Oh, you thinking now? See, I think Instagram is trying to mess up households in 2026. Because you gotta ask yourself, why would they do this shit? I know y'all remember back in the days when they had that feature where everybody could see what everybody was doing. This person liked this person post. This person mentioned this person. All Instagram is doing is going backwards with this shit. If you appreciate your relationship, you better delete them group chats now. Because the way this shit going, you ain't gonna have a good Valentine's Day if this shit is true. I'm out.
When I seen them having tampons for the Transformer men.
Wait, hold on. What you mean?
Listen, bro, I was in the airport in New York, I think.
Oh, of course.
In their bathroom.
Libby Town.
Yeah.
They had free tampons in the men's
See,
bathroom.
that's what I'm saying, man. We've
and
gone.
I'm thinking to myself, like, let me take one of these and just so I can have this to show. I got it in my bag right now.
Ain't no way.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. I've been on point. But I got to show y'all this.
This shit is crazy.
This is crazy.
Not only they have Tampon Tim, you know, running that shit in Minnesota, but New York too?
I was in New York and these was in the bathroom for free.
Ain't no way.
In the men's bathroom.
Ain't no way.
And I'm looking at myself like,
What do you even do with that?
We live in a sick society.
I'm like, wait a second, what's these for? And then the dude who cleaned the bathroom, he said, those are for people who identify as ladies.
Get the fuck out
I'm
of
looking
here.
like, so wait a second. They don't have no uterus.
Did you see the dude that was beaten off in the women's bathroom?
Now see that right there?
Yeah.
When I saw that video, I'm glad I wasn't there for that.
And then he tried to get wild.
That's the whole thing, because he's still a man, Dev. You single, you around a bunch of females, and you don't have a dick, the rage in your body might get out of control. You see what I'm saying?
Where have
You
we
walking
gone?
around with the silicone move on you all day.
Where have we gone as a
Think
society?
about that. Think about you got groups of people walking around with a dildo strapped on all day. That's a mental health crisis. And where are you as a society when you letting everybody trick your species off the planet?
This all started when the CIA started to fund the feminist movement. Then it morphed into breaking the family unit and and confusing everybody. It's not like the old school gays, okay?
Nah,
You like
old
boys,
school
cool.
gays,
If you're a guy, you like guys. If you're a girl, you like girls.
Nah, we good with y'all.
We good with y'all.
We good with y'all.
But this shit to where they're inverting everything, I wonder how many politicians are trans and we don't know it.
That's what kind of got Candace and all that trouble.
And then I posted all the pictures of all these dudes' wives who look like men. Like if you look at, have you seen the Princess of Bulgaria?
Man,
Looks like Dracula.
That's
now look,
crazy.
Now look,
Swear to God.
Now when you pull that person up, like damn, that's his boyfriend. You gotta think about it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a straight monster.
Hold on, bro.
That make the Draco come
Hold
out.
on,
You see
bro.
her too long.
That's what I'm saying.
See her in the back alley.
Look
Hold
at
on.
that.
Yeah,
I'm
she put you in the
saying.
headlock. It's a wrap.
That might
Bro.
be a tough battle. I'm not gonna
So,
lie.
no,
you gotta
yeah.
fight for
I'm
your
gonna really
life,
have
boy.
to. I'm gonna really have to
You
go
got
for
to
that.
fight for your life somewhere with her, boy.
No, for sure.
And if you look at Chuck Schumer's wife, Obama's wife, Barbara Bush, she looks crazy.
I always
Barbara
say
Bush is wild.
when when the male and the female they shoulders the same width, gotta watch out.
Something ain't right.
Have you ever heard of Jim Sullivan? So he's old country folk from the 60s and 70s. So his story is even more interesting. And he came out with an album in 1969 called UFO. And it was all about that. You know, getting abducted, going away from your family and friends and going off into a world with aliens, abductions. He even has one line in the song talking about only man I know came back from the dead. Essentially saying maybe Jesus was an alien. Then he has another song called Highway. And what's funny about this is that after he puts out this album, he doesn't go anywhere, right? He doesn't get popping.
The
Songs
whole
are fire.
album was fire. That's why I'm like, how didn't he blow up?
Yeah.
Crazy. Like,
Maybe
it's fire.
because he came out saying some real shit.
Yeah, in the album, he talks about getting abducted. And all. So then in 1975, he goes missing. So how this happens is he goes from LA, he was going to Nashville, like continue his career. So along the way, he stopped in New Mexico and he gets pulled over and the guy says, police were like, gotta do a sobriety test. He passes the sobriety test. Then he checks into the La Mesa Motel in New Mexico. And this is in Santa Rosa. From there, he buys a bottle of vodka, goes about 26 miles out of town in Santa Rosa. And this is off Route 66. He goes on this ranch and pulls off. He leaves his car. He has the UFO record in the car, guitar, his ID, money, clothes, all this other stuff. And then he gets out the car and he just walks off into the desert. And then from there, he disappears.
Never seen him again.
Never seen him again.
Disappears.
I think he got abducted.
Well, abducted or like eaten by a freaking animal.
Well, they said they found a body later on, but then they said, you know, it might have been him because it looks similar. But then they did forensics and they said it wasn't him. So he never-
like no trace is like kind of crazy.
Where in the desert?
This is like off of Route 66.
Did you ever like go out into the desert out there and like do some exploring for these supposed aliens
hell
everybody
no.
talks about?
That's kind of
Nah, it's scary out there.
In Santa Rosa, New Mexico, they're also known for something called the Blue Hole, which basically is like a sinkhole. A year later, after Jim Sullivan, that singer, disappeared, 2 divers disappeared into that sinkhole. Same exact city a year later. After they went missing, the DOD came and they covered up that hole for it to be a federal agency
Yeah.
to come and do that. It doesn't make any
If
sense.
it's a small town, that should be a state level thing for the federal government to come in right away.
They came in right away and filled the entry that hole.
This had to be like about 15 years ago. I'm driving back from Vegas with some friends, and late at night, I remember we picked like the best night to drive back where like no traffic. And in the distance, I see this massive truck. I was like, what is that? And we're like, yo, let's speed up. It took up 2 lanes. It was that big. It was silver with bars all around this truck. And they had cops escorting it, following all around it. So they had it pulled all the way to the right and it was going really slow. So it must have been super heavy. And it literally had cops behind, cops all to the left of it and in the front of it because it was like all the way to the right, you know? And I literally said, yo, they got a fucking alien.
The final Epstein drop is here. After this, you probably will never hear about this again, but it's over 3 million files. The government said that's it. This is every single thing we have in our possession, and now the public has it. Of course, there are a lot of redactions. They're saying they redacted all of the females' faces, and there are over 180,000 pictures and over 2,000 videos. So it's going to take a very long time to filter through everything. But if we see something we haven't seen before, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated.
Okay, you guys, I've shown you guys this symbol time and time again. And how is it that every time it deals with something with kids, it shows up? I've showed you this in many videos now, pretty much all around the world, and here it is again. So if you see right there, we have the Laugh Out Loud Kids. And what's that symbol right there? What is that symbol? You see it right there? There it is. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put it on the screen. I can't say too much because it gets crazy, but that is from 2007 FBI disclosure where they disclose these particular symbols. How is it that that symbol comes up every time when it comes to kids? How? You guys have to understand, this is how they speak, through code, through symbols. Start to do research on etymology, start to do research on esoteric knowledge. All these things are literally in front of your face and you're none the wiser. But subconsciously you're taking the stuff in. Laugh out loud kids clubs. I'm sorry to put you on blast, but it's not a coincidence.
I don't know if you guys are ready for this one. Someone AI'd the flat-topped mountains and basalt columns, or otherwise ancient tree stumps, around the world and showed what they would look like as trees. And these are the trees mentioned in the Book of Enoch, which reached the heavens during the time of Noah. Hello? Now, I think they would actually be taller. Like, obviously, that is insanely tall, but I think they went even higher up there. Think of Jack and the Beanstalk. He lived up a giant stalk of a plant in the clouds in a giant ancient tree. And Jack had to go. Now, didn't they say in the Book of Enoch? Here's Ayers Rock, by the way, in Australia. I wouldn't doubt it. Here's the crazy part, though. Jack and the Beanstalk. He had to go up the tree. And here's Devil's Tower. How can I forget? Beautiful, man. I can imagine when that was a tree. I would love to treehouse in there. Are you kidding me? But here's the crazy part. Jack and the Beanstalk. He went up there to slay the giant who stole his dad's castle from up there. And what did they say? God sent down 200 angels to cut down the ancient trees so that the giants couldn't climb the trees to survive the flood. I'm telling you right now, something ain't adding up with the official story of how our Earth's history has came to be, man. 100%. The more you go down the rabbit hole of things going on around the world, the more you realize they certainly do not prefer the story of Genesis and the notion of a creator. They do prefer you to believe that you are completely random, a random chance that evolved from fish and amoebas and everything. But what do you think? Because last I checked, let's just start from the beginning here. 50 trillion cells. Your body is 50 trillion cells. Do you think they randomly all formed? If you could watch a video of a human embryo when it gets fertilized, or when the egg starts growing, boom, you have a little fetus growing. If you watch their nervous system get grown, it is so complex, like a spider web, knowing exactly which neuron's going to the next. To think that that was random is such a stretch. I'm going to tell you right now, it may very well be flat, be around 6,000 years old. Ancient giants, dinosaurs were really just dragons and big-ass reptiles, because when there was ancient trees, there was a lot more oxygen, which made them grow larger, which is also why there were giants who could grow larger, and there was humans who can live a lot longer, like Noah for 900 years. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and follow for more.
We have to stop thinking that the New Year's in January at the deadest time of the year, when the New Year's in April right now. The resurrection of the S-U-N was just now. They told you it's the resurrection of the S-O-N. You usher in all this energy and you giving energy to zodiac signs and all this when you're not even connected to nature. God's sun dies. The S-U-N dies on December 22nd for 3 days. And on the 25th, it rises again. That's called the winter solstice. The sun just died. They told you it was Jesus. That's why it gets dark early in December. Same thing when you come around here to April. Now the sun is resurrecting, is rising again. That's why it's early. It's light at 6 o'clock now.
And that don't got nothing to do with daylight savings time.
No, man. I know a lot of people think that it's funny, but it's not funny when your children are growing up with all these different entities and energies and they can't really live out their full potential because they're not connected to nature.
The government is about to have another shutdown. Yes. Another one. Another one. Another one. This will never end because we don't understand what it really means. Back in slavery, the slave masters would pick and choose what slave they wanted. But now in 2026, the slaves is picking what master they want. Anytime there's a government shutdown, it's a mental shutdown. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. The government will shut down tomorrow if they don't reach their deadline. You ever notice they always use the word deadline and never lifeline? line. When it's time to pay your tax, you have a deadline. And someone please tell me, where the hell is the lifeline? If you ever find yourself in danger or need any kind of help, what do? They throw you a lifeline to pull you back to life. They use the word dead because this system is really dead. But of course, we all should know by now that life is just a stage. Love, hate, sickness, politicians, they all characters. The only thing that really exists in this matrix, your attention, your energy, your currency. They need our emotions to make this movie real. It's an old ass movie. It's an old ass movie. Why do you think they keep picking on these old white men to be presidents? They represent an old system, a dying system, Father Time. You know how they say Father Time is undefeated? It's not really true. This system is only alive because it's feeding off of your energy bill. You know every month they send you an electric bill to your house to keep your lights on, your stove on. Well, every second we pay attention to the BS, it's an energy bill. Yes, we are being charged with our spiritual currency. This system is really making us sick. But what do they say? We have to pass a healthcare reform. But they don't want to tell you that we are sick because of them. They just want to pass another bill. We don't need more deadlines. We need more lifelines.
Nicki Minaj was beefing with Jay-Z. And if you know about with Roc Nation, the CEO of Roc Nation got pardoned by Donald Trump. Nicki Minaj been beefing with Jay-Z, exposing the dark truths of Jay-Z, saying that there's more to be revealed. And I truly believe there's more coming out. But does anyone think it's random that Nicki Minaj is now linking up with Donald Trump? When she say there's dark, evil secrets that's coming out with Jay-Z? Do people think it's just random that Nicki Minaj is now holding hands with Donald J. Trump just a few weeks after exposing the hip-hop industry? Do you people not believe that the hip-hop industry wouldn't try to put hands on Nicki Minaj after speaking out against these people? I would think that it will require presidential protection. See, some things that happen in front of the public eye, if others aren't reporting on the true story, the masses won't see it. That's how the elites are able to get away with so much for so long, because too many people are too busy working in and outside their matrix to even see who's controlling it. It's not your fault. You got to provide for your family. But there are patterns, and they're right in front of us. This is going to be the official fall of the cabal. It's all the way from the Epstein files. It's all the way, many people are saying, you know who is heavily implicated in what's going to come out through the Epstein files, Diddy getting picked up. Even with the recent Dave Chappelle comedy special, he expressed the fact that Diddy's been getting investigated by the feds for over 30 years. Why do they choose to pick him up now? Why are they getting ready to release these Epstein files now? What is being revealed now that the public need to know about? Because everything comes with timing. They've obviously analyzed the risk and say this is the time to wake the matrix up. I think we're living in one of the most informative times in American history. And yes, as crazy as it sounds, this all starts with Nicki Minaj holding hands with Donald Trump.
So something weird happened today, and I just wanted to talk about it because I don't know if I want to call it a Mandela effect or something else. So I had marbles in my hand, and my almost 3-year-old toddler was counting them. And so I told him he could keep whatever marbles he could count. So I would put 2 in, and he counted 2, and I put 3 in, he counted 3, and so on and so forth, just randomly. And, then I put 4 in my hand, and he counted 5. And I said, no, try again. And he's counting very diligently 5 marbles. And I told him to try again about 3 times. And I was confused because he's pretty good at counting. And all of a sudden I looked down at my hand and there's 5 marbles. Specifically, there was 1 blue one that was not there previously. Now, yeah, cool. Like I'm going crazy or I just don't know how to count myself. But I actually had a friend there with me. We were playing this marble game together. And she was also very confused. She's like, Where did that fifth marble come from? I wasn't there before. And we both witnessed it, I'm not even kidding, just appear out of nowhere. He did not drop it in my hand. I definitely had 4 to begin with. And so here's my thought, like here's my theory on this, okay? But take it or leave it. What if, right? What if he was in an alternative timeline where there was always 5 marbles and he was counting the 5 marbles that were always there? And then instead of, say, giving up or him shifting into our timeline, we shifted into his timeline and an extra marble appeared and all of a sudden he's counting 5 marbles. He was correct the whole time. So is this a glitch in the matrix? Is this a duplication? Is this a timeline hop? And it kind of goes to show that, yeah, I mean, an infinite number of timelines exist. And at the end of the day, we're all kind of living in slightly different timelines. And what happens if, you know, one person has 4 marbles in their timeline and another person has 5? I guess something like this. So what do you guys think? Have you had weird moments of glitches or duplications or confusion like this? What are your thoughts?
I remember when I first woke up, I started hearing voices inside of my head. I was like, shit, I hope I ain't going crazy. When I'm by myself, the voices be nice and calm. But when I go out in public, it be really chaotic. When I hear the voices in public, I stop. I look around to see if I'm the only person that hear this. You ever been through this? This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. If you hear voices inside of your head, you are not crazy. You are spiritual. We are all connected to each other. When you hear these voices, they are just ideas. Some good, some bad. When you look at the word idea, it means aid, inner, divine, energy, activated. Remember, our pineal gland is the real Wi-Fi. When I have a thought, you pick up on my frequency. When you have a thought, I pick up on your frequency. Your thoughts and your ideas is not private. It's really public. That's why you have to learn how to put a certain sigil on your mind. It's like a door. Learn how to lock it. If you can't lock and protect your mindset, someone can tune in to your frequency. That's why they say always think about abundance and being positive. It's really a station. So when you think about love, 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 you pick up on people's frequency that's speaking about love, love, love. When you have a negative thought, you pick up on everybody in the world that's having negative thoughts. Hate, jealousy, selfish, ugly, pretty, kind, pretty. These are all frequencies. Why do you think people do some of the craziest shit in the world? That's because they are picking up on psychopath thoughts or ideas. Sometimes a person might want to do something, but they don't have the heart to do it. But if they thinking about it and they come to you, you might do their actions for them. Anytime you start to hear voices that's not your own, meditate, protect it. Some ideas can aid you on your spiritual journey and other ideas can aid you away from your spiritual journey. We are dealing with the law of suggestion. Once you understand this law, you will understand why the media do what they do. With repeated suggestions, thoughts becomes belief and belief becomes reality. Why do you think the media always repeat the same shit over and over? It becomes our reality. Let me give you a quick tip about how this really works. You ever had a little small grocery list and before you went to the store, you just wanted this? But when you got into the supermarket, your shopping cart is filled to the top. You ain't even want those things. You just wanted this. And now you leaving with a shopping cart full of food. That's because once you walk in there, they are taking over your mindset. Sell, discount, buy, 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 buy.
Collectively, 2026, 2027, and 2028 are all going to be collapse and downfall years. Donald Trump is meant to be the bringer of chaos, bringer of destruction. Donald Trump is not here to bring solutions because the entire world has been run by a shadow government. He's here to take that system down collectively for our nation, but also globally and politically. Venezuela and everything that's happening there. He's doing a pretty damn good job at executing exactly that, and he's riling a lot of people up in the meantime. And then after the entire system has collapsed, we then have the freedom to say, all right, well, what's next?
Correct me if I am wrong, but something about this fucking snowstorm is hella off. Y'all peep this shit. So, I don't know if this just me or if there's anybody else that noticed this shit. But I am a Michigander, so walking outside when it's snowing and everything like that does not bother me at all. Especially if I gotta go to the store and everything like that and the snow is right there walking distance. I don't give a fuck. I'll walk in the goddamn snow. Who gives a fuck? But what bothered me was the second I stepped outside, it smelled like cement. Let me say this one more time for the people in the back. When I stepped outside, it had some kind of cement or rubber cement type of fucking smell. You know how like when you just smell that smell and it just like woo, like they doing some kind of construction or some shit like that, right? Newsflash, there is no construction going on out there. So where the fuck is this smell coming from? And being honest with y'all, every single time I stepped outside, I smelled this during the fucking snowstorm. And I remember once upon a time, especially like I said, being a Michigander and, you know, being a child playing in the fucking snow, the snow used to have a rain type of smell, a water type of smell, an ice type of fucking smell. Where is it at? Bitch, it smell like cement out there. So what the fuck is this shit? Cause like, is it just me that's smelling this shit? Is my nose off? Or has anybody else been smelling this shit? Cause girl, bye.
What the fuck is going on? In the last 24 hours, 2 journalists have been arrested, Georgia Fort and Don Lemon. This was planned, but obviously America is on a nationwide strike right now. And just a few hours ago, 3 million pages of the Epstein files were released. Mind you, they still have about 3 million to go. It was a partial release. Disgusting, by the way. Fucking disgusting. I can't even get through all of them right now. Hello? Democrats in Congress right now are scrambling, trying to avoid a full shutdown. There's a cyclone windstorm heading for the Carolinas right now. Trump threatened yet again another tariff to anybody selling oil to Cuba. Trump is kickstarting his Trump account for children. And by the looks of it, you guys can go check out this website. Looks like the kids' financial future is tied to S&P 500. And stocks. Anyway, here are the sponsors for that. Anyway, that's the last 24 hours. How is everyone? We doing all right? How we holding up? How we holding up?
What? Are you serious?
We did some testing, and so yesterday I'm seeing these chemtrails, and today I'm in my sauna sweating, and I want to tell everyone why. The first test that we did, Pastor, was we went and we sweated, and I sweated for a bunch of days, but I sweated and collected the sweat samples and then an engineer and sent them off to the lab and said, what's coming out when there's no chemtrails? And what we found really corroborates Dane Wigington's great work at Geoengineering Watch and also Mike Adams, Health Ranger's great work on the sky fallout. We corroborated that what's coming out of us are aluminum, barium, and strontium. But this is where it gets really exciting. The aluminum is far and away the largest short-circuiting heavy metal that we are being exposed to in these chemtrails. So with no chemtrails, the amount that came out in my sweat, Pastor, was 281 nanograms per gram. Now that's more than triple any other metal coming out. So we know that where that's still coming in from every time there is a chemtrail, and maybe I didn't sweat before that, it showed up. And I'll check this number out. 281 is the number, 281. Now, the day after a chemtrail, same experiment, just same sample size, everything. We collected the sweat again, 2,958 nanograms per gram. We went from 281 to 2,958 nanograms overnight, just with chemtrail days. So the first message we have to get out to everyone who loves God, we have to get this out, is that when you see a chemtrail, it is your duty to sweat within 24 hours, to get that waste that you have just breathed in, you couldn't even see it, get it out of your body before it can embed in your cell structure and start disrupting the electricity that God designed your body to flow on.
Comment the word join for the detailed herbal protocol for every disease and share this video.
Did you know Erica Kirk
People are theorizing that there was an Erica Kirk before her.
What, like a clone?
She looks exactly like this other woman named Erica Kirk back in 1934. And her positioning is what's really weird.
Okay.
Because she's also connected to a very popular Republican, just like Charlie Kirk.
No.
People are saying it might be the same person.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it literally looks like the same person, right? This is what's really weird.
Yeah.
They used to call this Erica Kirk in 1934 Madame X.
Okay.
The reason they called her Madame X was because she appeared out of nowhere and she became very important.
Yeah.
Very similar to what happened with Erica Kirk.
I've never heard.
She just appeared and she's very important, almost as if she was played. She looks dead as just like
this is
her.
crazy. This is
That's why
crazy.
it's so weird. Back in the day, it was a political wife.
I feel like you can do this with a lot of people though, because there's been, if you search up like other celebrities, Taylor Swift, there would be one that in the 1900s that look exactly like her.